So one of the things I frequently talk about is how you can do a lot of things quote unquote wrong and get fantastic results as long as you just keep going and don't give up. And it's true, we tend to way overcomplicate this stuff. However, there are certainly things you don't want to do if you're trying to lose weight, both mentally and physically, especially if you want to actually keep the weight off. Hey, this is Colin DeWaay. If you want to master your metabolism and create forever results, start now by subscribing and click on that bell notification so you don't miss anything. And if you're tired of being stuck and you're interested in online coaching to help get you to the next level, fill out an application for online coaching, link in the description. Now, the first and most obvious thing you don't want to do is eat more calories than you burn, because you have to be in a calorie deficit if you want to lose weight. Now, what makes up a calorie deficit from the calories in versus calories out side of things is highly misunderstood. Don't worry, I have a video that covers this that I'll link you to at the end of this video. But just know a calorie deficit is a must. However, there's a lot of things we do to cause us not to be in a deficit. For instance, how many people do this? Maybe this is even you. You do great through the week, but then every single weekend you end up blowing it out and then complain that you can't see results. A calorie deficit isn't just what you do on a day-by-day basis. You have to take a larger period of time into consideration. And this is why you frequently hear me talk about how it's not the individual days that matter, and I typically recommend to look at a weekly average of calories. So this doesn't mean you can't still have more fun on the weekends, but it does still have to be accounted for. So let's say, for instance, your calorie deficit that you're aiming for is 2,000 calories per day, and you're having a hard time with this. If you took away, say, 200 calories 5 days a week, then you'd have an extra 1,000 calories to divvy up as extra for the weekend, split between those 2 days. If you do this, you still have that extra flexibility, but you're still going to remain in the calorie deficit that you're looking for the week. Now, maybe it's not as much as you'd like to be able to eat, and this is just one way of doing things. It's not the way, but the free-for-alls that so many people go through every single weekend easily destroys a week's worth of calorie deficit. Oftentimes people say, I need these cheat meals, which I don't even like the term cheat, but that's a topic for a different video. But they say they need them because otherwise they'll go insane. But I find that most of the time when people have this mentality, it's because they're being too restrictive with their diet. So they always fall back into the all or nothing mentality, which is almost impossible to have any long-term success with, because you can't possibly be on all the time every day for the rest of your life. So this is why I'm constantly preaching being flexible with your diet and allowing yourself to include some things you enjoy, fitting it into your routine so you don't find yourself binging on the very thing you're always restricting. And if you continue to binge over and over and over again, well, you're not going to lose weight. Now, another thing I see people do that will keep you from losing weight is actually adding foods to your normal routine because you hear it helps burn fat. And this just doesn't make any sense. Replacing certain foods with other foods can certainly help you do that, but if everything else is the same and you add on more calories on top of that, you're just gonna add fat, if anything, because now you're eating more calories. Whereas with the replacing side of things, maybe you had a donut before, now your snack is a carrot, you're now consuming less calories. Plus, this is why vegetables are so helpful, because not only do they have a lot of healthy properties, but they help you feel more full on less calories, so you consume less total calories. But the worst thing you can do is just keep things the same and then do something like add butter to your coffee. Like, that's not going to do anything for you other than add a bunch of calories and make things much more difficult. Now, I mean, if you like butter in your coffee and you account for those calories, then fine, but there's certainly nothing magical about it. Okay, another mistake a lot of people make, which is similar to the all or nothing mentality that I just talked about, but that's just completely pounding yourself into the ground. Tons of brutal exercise every single day, super low calories, just go hard all the time until you finally crash and burn. Now, certainly when you first start this, it's gonna help you lose weight, almost no doubt about it. However, at some point, it's gonna catch up to you. Your body's not gonna be able to recover properly. Hormones will get all out of whack. Your energy supply plummets, hunger signals and cravings go up, and eventually you just crash and burn hard. Eventually, you once again get to a point where you realize there's no way that I can possibly keep doing this, but since you think this is what it takes and you can't do it, well, you just give up completely. Now you go back to your old habits, probably eating even more than you did before, but you're doing so on a slower metabolism because your body does adapt to whatever you do, and any weight loss comes back in a hurry, if not adding even more. The more you do this yo-yo dieting, extreme exercise type of behavior, the more your body kind of becomes afraid to lose body fat because it's anticipating you to keep doing this over and over, and it's trying to protect its body fat, which is its energy supply, and it just keeps getting harder and harder to lose weight. Remember, plateaus are unavoidable. It's just your body doing its job and adapting. So you want to eat as many calories as possible and do as little cardio as possible. So when the body does plateau, you have room to make more adjustments to get things going again. Plus, you're going to feel better. You're going to have more energy. You're going to be able to enjoy more food, and you're going to get better long-term results. Remember, this thing has to be a lifestyle if you want to create any lasting results, so we got to get over this whole mad dash to the finish line thing that is destroying you. Now, a lot, and I mean a lot, of the struggles that come with losing weight are actually mental struggles. So make sure you don't ignore the rest of this video because it's super important. And one thing you absolutely cannot do if you want to lose weight is let your emotions dictate your actions. At a certain point, almost no matter who you are or what your tendencies are, hormones are going to get kind of jacked up and your emotions are going to start running wild during a cut. This is a natural response to dieting, but you also have to be able to separate your emotions and feelings from logic and the truth. Because I'm sure I don't need to tell you this, but it's easy to convince ourselves in the moment, isn't it? Like when things aren't going well, it feels like it's not worth the effort, you're getting frustrated, you just say, hey, like this isn't worth it, and you can really just sabotage yourself. Then you get even more frustrated, you start beating yourself up, you feel guilty, you start judging yourself, and then it just snowballs even more from there. So it's just so important to set your plan and just commit to following it no matter how you feel. And this is why you've probably heard so many people talk about having a strong why. It is really important because a lot of people will start a fat loss program because, well, you know, I don't want to feel so fat, which that might be enough to get you started. But I promise you, it's not going to be enough to keep you going when things eventually get difficult, which they will. At some point, it's pretty much inevitable. So if you don't have a strong reason why you must keep going no matter what, it's going to be really difficult to get through the whole process and get where you want to be. What that why is going to be different for everybody. Some people hold on to wanting to set a good example for their children. Some people have health scares and they want to make sure they don't, die. Some people do other things. Like for myself, I always go back to, I just don't want to regret anything. It doesn't even necessarily have to be this grand, huge thing. It just has to be something that's really important to you. And then just keep reminding yourself. Have it in your mind at all times. Put it on Post-it notes and slap it on your computer, slap it on your mirror, slap it in your bedroom, at the office, everywhere. So you have this constant reminder and hold on to that whenever you're kind of in that depth of despair. But no matter what, you just got to separate feelings from results. Not getting results and you're following the plan? Great, keep going. This stuff takes time. It almost always takes longer and is harder than you think it will be. Sticking with it and it's still not working? Okay, now it's time to adjust the plan, not say F it and give up completely. And please, for the love of all that is holy, stop beating yourself up and judging yourself. It doesn't do any good. You would never talk to anybody else the way you talk to yourself. You would be a terrible person if you talk to other people the way you talk to yourself. Stop it. It's not helping. It's only hurting. You're human. You're gonna make mistakes. Even with all the stuff I'm telling you, you're still gonna stumble and screw up, and that's okay. Just get back on track. Don't do anything dramatic. Don't beat yourself up. Just get back on track. All right, this next part might be a little difficult to hear, but it's super important to come to terms with, and that's any blame has to go out the window. I don't care what it is. It can't be your genetics. It can't be your money. It can't be time. It can't be any type of circumstance or obstacle. Blame has to go out the window. Trust me, I get it. There's a lot of difficult situations out there, but none of them are the reason why you can't do it. And all things like time do is show you what's a priority to you. Really, whatever is most important to you, there's always time for. So if you say you don't have time to work out or whatever else it may be, you're just saying all the other things you do are more important. Even if it's, well, I'm super exhausted from working long hours, so I need to rest when I get home. That's fine. That's your choice. But now you're just saying that rest when you get home is more important than the goals that you have with your weight loss goals. And hey, I'm not here to tell you what should be a priority in your life. I'm just telling you, if you want to get the results, you can't place this blame because all you're doing is giving yourself a reason why you can't do it instead of finding ways to work with these things and get it done. In fact, I just had a conversation with a client recently that made me really happy, and this person had been struggling for a while. For a few months, they were just having a really hard time following the plan, and they were always coming back with, well, I'm just super busy, I'm working long hours, I've got several kids and they've all got something, I'm bringing them to band and to soccer and to recitals and whatever else. They're always going on the move, and they're cooking for home, and they're cleaning and all this stuff, and hey, I get it, like, it's a challenge, it's a lot of responsibility. But all of a sudden, after 3 months or so of this struggle, for the next month, all of a sudden she was nailing everything. She was getting all her exercise in, she was crushing her macros, everything was going great. And she said, you know what? I'm actually as busy, probably actually more busy now than I was then, but I just decided that I needed to commit to doing this and make the time and make it happen. And now I'm doing it, and I feel so much better for it. She let go of her excuses or her reasons. And now she's doing it, even though all the same challenges that were there before are still there. Her priorities shifted, and they have to shift for you too if you find yourself placing blame. Change takes responsibility, not blame. Plus, it can be really easy, can't it, to convince ourselves that we're doing better than we actually are. It can be easy to say, yeah, I'm sticking to my diet, but then kind of ignore all those extra bites and nibbles and stuff that you take, the stuff that you're not measuring, but you're telling yourself that, hey, it's probably 1 serving size, when deep down you know it's probably like 3 serving sizes. You tell yourself that you're giving it your all when you know you're really not. You're just kind of skating by, doing the bare minimum, but not really enough to get where you want to be. So sometimes you just have to have that reality check and be honest with yourself. Where are you slacking? Where can you make improvements? And it's time to go all in without going all or nothing. Okay, so I mentioned in this video several times that you have to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight, but that calories in versus calories out is commonly misunderstood. So if you are confused by this, make sure you check out this top video next, and I'll help clear up any of that confusion you have. If you're looking for online coaching, fill out an application in the description below, and I'll see you in that other video.